Hey all, welcome to a new Bray Plays, and this time we're going to be looking at The Legend of Zelda. Many years ago, Prince Darkness Ganon stole one of the... What's this translation? Oh... Once upon a time, a giant pig stole a shiny Dorito. It's up... Zelda broke that Dorito into 8 smaller Doritos. Now it's up to Link to go find the shiny Doritos to make the big Dorito to make some pork. The end. Let's get started here. We are going to register... you know what? L-I-N-K. Alrighty. So, let's just get started here. Alright, so, this is the original Legend of Zelda. So, I know it's a little bit different than what we're used to right now, but... this is how the series originally started. This is the game that kind of kick-started the whole action-adventure idea of video games. So what we just got in the first cave is the wooden sword. The wooden sword is the weakest weapon in the entire game outside of the boomerang, which does 0 damage. The wooden sword has a damage output of a total of 1, so you won't be expecting to do a whole lot of damage with the wooden sword. The more hearts we get in terms of our life meter, the more swords we'll be able to get and the better weaponry we'll be able to pick up. Ooh, perfect, bombs. The first thing I wanted to do was find some bombs in the first place. So, when finding bombs, there's a couple rules you gotta follow in terms of getting your hands on them. The main rule is you gotta kill blue enemies, but you can't kill just any particular blue enemy, because not every blue enemy drops bombs. For example, the Tektites we're going to be running into later, they don't drop bombs at all, I don't think. That's a fairy. It's a portionate heal, as later in the series, like Ocarina of Time, Majora's Mask, Wind Waker, all that, fairies are pretty much a full heal. They're not here. So these are the Tektites. These are spider-like enemies. These enemies do not drop bombs, even though they are blue, so don't really bother killing any of the Tektites when looking for bombs. The enemies that are most guaranteed to drop bombs are the blue Octoroks and blue Moblins. Where is it? There it is. All over the land of Hyrule, you're going to be stumbling across many, many secrets, so get used to blasting every wall, burning every bush. When you come across an old man like this, he'll either offer you the number 2 medicine, which is 2 full heals in a jar, or a heart container. Always pick the heart container, because the heart containers are how we're going to be upgrading our weaponry. We need a minimum of 5 hearts in order to upgrade our sword to the white sword. So just make sure you're collecting the heart containers. In the first cave we came across, it's just the wooden sword we can pick up. Ooh, more bombs, sweet. However, in the beta for the game, before the final release, in the first cave, we could have been able to pick up the boomerang or the wooden sword. The boomerang can still be seen in the Japanese manuals of the game, but I believe it's also in the very original English translated manuals as well. You can see the boomerang as a pickup you can find in that opening cave. So this heart container is going to be a little bit before we eventually get it. So I'm pretty good at this game, I'd like to say. At least I think so. Nice. So we are now full on bombs. The first thing I want to do is I want to get my hands on some rupees first and foremost. As rupees are what's going to be how we upgrade our arsenal, such as our shield as well as our defenses. And we're also going to be using the rupees we find in order to get ourselves a blue candle as well, so we can max out our life meter as much as we can, which will be up to 6 hearts before we enter Dungeon 1. Rupees are the main currency all across the world of Hyrule, and they are used to buy various things such as meat, which is going to be very important later in the playthrough in Dungeon 7, more on that later. There are some enemies I would suggest killing to gather yourself some resources in terms of rupees, and those are the levers. They're the little sand-dwelling creatures that pop up on the screen we were just on. To our left is Dungeon 1, we're going to be going there later. Not yet, but eventually. So, the first place I want to go to is the tree at the dead end, which is one of the hints you can find within the overworld. I'm just going to kill some levers here. Okay, so at the very end of the desert here, we can find ourselves a conspicuous rock, which we're going to be blasting as well. I'm going to just let the P-hat go by. All of the enemies across the land of Hyrule also have specific names. The flying pineapple-looking things are the P-hats. The spiders are Tektites. The little rock-shooting creatures are called Octoroks. A whole lot of different things, and each of them have their own specific damage outputs and whatnot, especially in Second Quest when things are changed around. Second Quest you can only access by either A, beating the game, or B, entering your name as Zelda on the title screen. But if you're entering your name as Zelda, then you're really good at this game. So, secret is in the tree at the dead end. That's the hint I was talking about earlier. So to reach that dead end, what we're going to do is we're going to take the stairs down, and we're going to head to the far right-hand top corner of the map. So, first things first. This is a cave with rupees. This is a moblin, though I think he's actually a friendly old man that was cursed to be a moblin by Ganon's magic, but not sure. Okay, so now that we have 89 rupees, it's possible for us to purchase the blue candle, not the red candle. Red candle's not until Dungeon 7. I wouldn't really suggest fighting Tektites, especially in wide open areas, as they like to hop around and they're kinda hard to hit. So in this cave we can find ourselves a blue candle, which we're going to be purchasing for 60 rupees. We need the blue candle in order to burn some trees, in order to find ourselves the last heart container we're going to be picking up before heading into Dungeon 1. The reason I want to get rupees as well is so we can purchase not just the blue candle, but I also want to be purchasing the magical shield and the blue ring, all before, and some medicine, maybe some medicine, I'm not sure yet, before heading into Dungeon 1, because Dungeon 1 is not that terrible, but I just like to be a little bit more prepared. So this is the blue letter. We use this in order to show it to the old woman, like the old man said, and that will allow us to purchase medicine. There are 2 colors of medicine. One is red, which we've seen earlier, which is 2 heals in 1 shot, and there is also the blue medicine, which allows us to gain just 1 full heal. So it's another secret to everybody. This moblin holds us 100 rupees. There are 3 of them across the land of Hyrule as far as I know. I believe there's 3. I only know of 2 off the top of my head. There's that one, and then one over by the graveyard, which is just to the left of Dungeon 7, but we're going to be heading there next because I want the rupees. First things first, though, I'm going to just take a quick detour down here. These are the other enemies you can kill to get a whole bunch of bombs as well, but I'm kind of full, so I'm not really going to bother killing these guys to gain just 2 bombs that I may or may not need. So next on our to-do list is head to the west. So we're going to be heading to the Lost Woods, and the fastest way there, I feel, is heading to the entrance and then to the start of the map. My mistake. And then we're going to be heading to the west from there. As the entrance is the closest, the starting screen is the closest point in the game to very. Whew. It's the closest point to Dungeon 3 as well, and Dungeon 3 is pretty much right next door to the Lost Woods. So I believe to our north is... Yes, to our north is a Great Fairy, which we're going to stop at real quick. The Great Fairies are full heals, so this is a Great Fairy. So walking up to the spring, it is a total full heal no matter how much HP you have. Your HP is determined by the amount of hearts you have, unlike, say, Castlevania, where hearts are your ammo. I'm going to leave him to suffer. So we're going to ignore the P-hats. We should be fairly close to another heart container as well, I feel. I believe another heart container is directly north of us. I might stop there really quick. Yeah. So heading to the north, we could pick up the magical shield as well, which will protect us from the Zora's fireballs, which, now that I'm thinking about it, might be a good idea, but I'll get it on the way back. So this particular incarnation of the Legend of Zelda is a little different, like I mentioned. For one, there's no fuse ability and no giant death lasers and war machines. And that's primarily because the NES is a system that could not handle that kind of thing, so how far we've evolved since then. So if we head to the south, we'll be able to find Dungeon 3. We're not going to head there just yet. Instead, what we're going to be doing is we're going to be heading to the south, as the south is going to have our having our 100 rupee moblin. So we're going to head into our pause menu here, and we're going to select our inventory, our blue candle, and we're going to hit the B button to use our secondary weapon in order to unveil a hidden staircase, so we can find our other 100 rupee moblin. And now, what we can do with our 255 rupees is we are going to swing by the next Great Fairy, who's just to our north here. And we're going to grab a heal, and we're going to get the blue ring, which will cut our defenses in half. Well, the damage we take in half. So, to get to the blue ring, all we gotta do is head to the north from here. We're gonna head north once, and then we're gonna kill this Octorok that's in our way. And then we're gonna head north again. And now we're gonna encounter a whole bunch of blue levers. These are other enemies that don't really drop bombs. So that 250 rupee piece of merchandise there, that is the blue ring. This cuts our defense, our damage intake by half, so we're taking half the damage now. So instead of taking a full heart of damage from, say, a lever, we're only going to be taking half a heart. There is one more upgrade we can get, but that's not for a long time. That won't be until easily Dungeon 9, where we're next to finished the game at that point. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to be hounding around the land of Hyrule, finding a bit more in terms of our rupee intake, so we can get ourselves a magical shield at discounted price, which is going to be for 90 rupees, I believe. So you gotta be kind of careful as well when uncovering hidden caves, because some of them can lead to disgruntled old men who will demand you pay them for the door repairs. I don't know how it's door when it's just a bush. So we're going to be back for this guy. He has a discounted magical shield, just like the other fine gentleman at the Blue Ring shop had discounted food, which, again, we're going to need for Dungeon 7. So this is the last of the heart containers we can pick up here. So we have maxed life as far as we can reach, which at this point is 6. There is another spot we can go to in order to grab some more rupees, which is right here. And I believe this is a 30 rupee moblin. Yeah, there's a whole bunch of them scattered around the land of Hyrule, so don't be too discouraged if you can't find any particular rupee moblins. They are kicking all around the land of Hyrule. There's one here as well. If I can get on the tile. Alright, so we're just about ready to start tackling the first dungeon. We need another 9 rupees before we're ready to tackle Dungeon 1. So, in order to kill a Peahat, you have to wait until it stopped moving. That signifies that the thing has landed. When they're moving like this, it means they're flying and you can't hit them. So, to get to our next point of interest, we are going to hopefully not run into the boulders, which I believe do 1 heart of damage. That's without the blue ring, but with the blue ring they do half heart. Ooh. When you're at full hearts, you can launch a sword beam. So try to stay on top of your health as much as you can. And this is our first instance of a Lionel. Yeah, the little blue guy there, walking around shooting swords, that's a Lionel. A little bit different than what he looks like in Tears of the Kingdom and Breath of the Wild. So, master using it, and you can have this. This is the white sword. This is a weapon that does a whole whopping 2 damage. So we're going to be picking this up, meaning our attack strength has now just doubled. So, now we can kill the Zora, the little water-dwelling creature, in 1 hit. Meaning the Zora has 2 HP, and because we can kill the Zora in 1 hit, that means that the white sword does 2 damage. Now, it took 3 hits for me to kill the Lionel. That means the white sword did 6 damage, while the HP of the Lionel itself was a total of 6. Each enemy has its own specific damage output and HP intake. For example, Tektites only have 1 HP in both first and second quest of this game. Like I mentioned, there are enemies that do get more damage output in the second quest. Not paying attention here, not paying attention to where I'm going, I'm looking at my notes. One of the enemies that does get an increased damage buff is the Stalfos, which we're going to be seeing here right away in Dungeon 1. The Stalfos go from a 1 damage point to a whopping 4 in second quest. Garayas gain an attack buff in second quest. Certain enemies also gain HP buffs in second quest, so just be on the lookout for enemies that may or may not be doing more damage as you play the game or if you're in second quest. Okay, we have our 90 rupees, and we're back in the coastline shop with that discounted magical shield. This is the cheapest you can find it at. You're not going to find it for a better deal than 90 rupees. So now, with the magical shield, which is enormous, we can block magical projectiles. So now we don't have to worry about taking any excess damage from the Zora or the Lionel. The Lionel sword beams are very dangerous as well, especially in both quests. So just be very cautious of the Lionel, just like you are in Tears of the Kingdom and Breath of the Wild, if you're not comfortable fighting Lionels in those games. So this tree is level 1, which I don't know, I think is kind of referenced as the Deku Tree later in the franchise, and I believe we can also find this particular tree referenced in Breath of the Wild Tears of the Kingdom as well.